Welcome back. Boo boo ba doo, boo boo ba doo, ba ba da ba da ba da bee. Maybe I should just do this at the beginning of every podcast just to get myself in a sillier mood so I don't feel so goddamn self conscious recording myself. I'm just going to sing ridiculous stuff like that. The cold is almost gone, folks. I'm sorry that it is still there. Um, Hello, welcome back to the Multiverse. I'm glad you're listening to episode 2. Shit. I forgot my phone, which has the thing I was going to talk about. Well, I got this other thing to talk about first. I got handed a pamphlet yesterday by a young fellow, and it says, "We the People." And it's got an American flag on the front and a bald eagle looking pretty badass. And it says, "Know your rights. There's a lot of concern today about the rights of individuals. Many are making speeches." I hadn't really read the front yet. That's pretty ridiculous already. There is a lot of concern today about the rights of individuals. Many are making speeches. Some are rioting and unruly. But there is a much you can't really use, like, you shouldn't have a verb and then like an adjective like that. Some are rioting and unruly. I don't know, maybe you can. But there is a much greater need to be concerned about our country and the direction it is taking. And right when I saw that earlier, I was like, I don't think this is actually going to be a political pamphlet. Unfortunately, it seems the only activists in our country seem to really be religious people. So you open up this pamphlet, and indeed, it's just a bunch of goddamn quotes out of the Bible about. I didn't mean for that to be offensive to anyone, saying goddamn quotes out of the Bible, but a bunch of quotes out of the Bible. Um, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments. So that's how you save the country, I think. You save the country by depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. I mean, why don't we just do that? Um, See, I think these people are. Oh, there's some quotes from Revelation in here. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. Except for you were just talking about putting people into an everlasting fire. So, when you live in a desert for as long as the people that wrote the Bible did, you probably start to go a little bit crazy. I imagine you eat a lot of sand sandwiches. Do you think they made jokes? Well, no. The language would have been different. But if they spoke English, I bet they would have made a lot of jokes about it. I'm going to make a sand sandwich. Ah, Sandy. A sand Sandy. Anyway. um, but I think these people got it all wrong. This isn't how you save the country, by handing out pamphlets of weird quotes out of the Bible. What you should really do is make it mandatory around 18 years old, right when people get the right to vote and they start to get real power. You take them all up in a spaceship. This is mandatory. It's going to cost a lot of money, but I think we can do it. We just got to stop fucking around, and this is what we'll do. It's a mandatory thing. When you turn 18, you got to go up in a spaceship. Even I would have to do it with my motion sickness. I can get sick in a pool. So I would be really bad on a spaceship, but I would have to do it. Everybody has to fucking do it. No excuses. You go up in the spaceship. Excusez-moi. You go up in the spaceship, and once you're up there, see, you don't know about this yet, but they hand out all this water to everybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this has got some medicine in it. It's going to help you keep from getting too nauseous and help your eardrums." And they just give you a bunch of bullshit about what the supposed medicine in the water is going to do. But then you drink that. Everybody has to drink it. And then afterwards, they inform you as you're going up into space, like, we have something to tell you. That was actually a minor dose of psilocybin, and you will now be orbiting the Earth on a minor trip, and you will learn to not be such a jackass. And you will learn from the beauty of this experience to just chill the fuck out. And then the earth would be fixed, and we wouldn't have to hand out pamphlets like this with the bald eagle on there saying crazy shit from the desert 3,000 years ago or 5,000. How long ago was the Old Testament? I don't even know. A long time ago. And you know what's interesting about the Old Testament? Like the very start of the whole goddamn thing talks about how God is like, he's the God of the Hebrews and he's like the best God out of all of them. I'm like, well, then there's lots of gods then. And then the whole basis of Christianity, that there's just one God and everything. I mean, that's not even based on anything real in Judaism then. I mean, maybe I'm misinterpreting something. I don't really know. But it's pretty nuts. Now I have to leave the room here and go grab my telephone to talk about, well, now I can remember what it was. I saw this thing on Facebook the other day. It was about how to talk to an introvert or how to identify an introvert. I don't really remember exactly how they worded it, but I think Disa put it up. Disa, the Icelandic friend of mine, and I saw some other people put it up as well. And basically it was talking about like the definition of an extrovert and an introvert. And I'm going to go grab it. I'm going to pause this. And I'm back. I totally forgot that I was even doing this. I just grabbed my phone and started reading all my messages. Okay. So it's Dr. Carmela's Guide to Understanding the Introverted. Number 1, what is introversion? Introverted people live in a human-sized hamster ball. Not really, but you know what I mean. The major trait of a true introvert, as opposed to someone who is withdrawn, is how they gain their energy. And this was when I started to realize, I always thought I was an introvert because, I don't know, I guess people told me that all the time because I don't talk much until I know somebody and then I don't shut the fuck up. But anyway, here we go. Extroverted people gather their energy from their surroundings. They absorb the good vibes of the people around them and thus need a lot of social interaction. That's when I realized when I read that maybe I'm indeed an extrovert. Because I get fucking sad as shit. I get bothered as fuck if I don't hang out with anybody for like just one day. If I don't see anyone outside of work, I go fucking crazy. And I start to feel just really sad about it. And, oh, my damn phone. Hold on. Bop-a-da-boo. And it continues. Introverted people. It's going to keep making these noises. Introverted people make their own energy. And rather than taking it from others, I mean, this is a very pro-introverted people fucking thing here. It's pretty goddamn one-sided already. So take this with a grain of salt. But introverted people make their own energy, and rather than taking it from others, give it on social contact. This means that they naturally find most interaction exhausting and need time to recharge. Because this energy is a limited resource, they tend to see extroverts as obnoxious predators. This is pretty aggressive. Out to steal their sweet, sweet energy juices. Okay, maybe it's playful. That's why they have the hamster ball of personal space. How to interact with the introverted. Just because someone is introverted doesn't mean they don't like company. Interaction is just expensive and they don't want to spend it on something annoying. I get afraid that that's what I'm like because I am in such need of social interaction. I'm just going to skip through some of this. But basically, I always thought I was a fucking introvert. But I guess not because, like I said, I freak out if I don't have contact with people. Like, if I can't, I mean, that's why I go to Lamplighter all the fucking time and other fucking coffee shops after work. If I don't have somebody to hang out with, I'm like, I just got to be around other people other than like the middle-aged to elder. I can't really call any of them elderly, but the dudes in their mid-50s that I work with that are pretty angry all the goddamn time, and I spend my days around them. So then I want to go somewhere else and have a much better fucking time, even if it's just working on my book or something. So, anyway, I felt like there was something else I meant to talk about. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna do what I did last time and record a few of these and put them together. Little mix and match shit. So thanks for listening to this first part. I'll try to get 30 minutes with each one at least and do an hour when I got people with me, but I'm out of stuff to talk about. So thanks for listening. Bye. That was not an Asian voice, by the way. Fuck it, I might have more to say. I'm just gonna keep talking. Oh, I got headphones in now, though. I can hear myself. I can see exactly, like, if I need to get closer to the microphone or if I'm good where I am. I'm gonna put the mic away so I can clear my throat again. I'm back. So I guess if I wasn't an introvert as a kid and now, then I'm just socially withdrawn, I guess, according to that thing. That's an interesting, I don't know. I had an interesting childhood because I was in my fucking head all the time in good ways and in bad ways. Like I feel like I really hate talking about myself like this. I like thinking about myself a whole lot. But I don't like talking about myself because I feel fucking ridiculous. But what else can I fucking talk about on this thing? So maybe people will be able to relate to this and I'm just going to fucking talk about it and own it. But I feel I'm going to own the fact that I think that my childhood of being like an awkward, quiet kid that did a whole lot of observing of people instead of like interacting. People might have thought that I wasn't engaged at all because I didn't talk a whole lot until I was really comfortable. But I feel like that gave me the ability to really read people really well. And just like from the most minor shit be able to pick up changes in people's moods and behavior and all that sort of stuff. And maybe I'm completely delusional thinking that. I have no idea, but I think it served me pretty well in my past. um I don't know. I do fucking my whole childhood I always felt like, I don't want to say like excluded because I kind of did it to myself, but until I was really comfortable in something, I never really took part in anything. Like I was always putting myself off to the side a little bit until I found somebody that I felt was like an ally that was just as weird or goofy as me, but like in that quiet sort of way. Like I was goofy as fuck with the people that I'm familiar with, but to everyone else, they thought I was probably a goddamn lunatic, like just a time bomb or something, because I was so fucking withdrawn, I suppose, if we're using the language of the hamster ball article. But I've always, like, even now, I'm striving in some ways to try to move out of being so goddamn. I always like default to not engaging in certain things if I feel uncomfortable. I'm really a dude that for most of my life has stayed in the safe zone for sure. And my parents and some friends were always fucking pushing me to try to move out of that. My brother too, to move past that shit and expand my life more by taking more chances. And it's only been the past few years where I feel like I've been able to like really understand that and really try to do it. And that's why when I did stand up a few months ago, I've only done it once and it was fucking terrifying. And I want to do it again so bad because I've always loved stand-up comedy so much. When I was a kid, that was like my secret goal. I never would have told anybody that I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. That was like a dream, and by the definition of a dream is like something that will never fucking happen. But if someone had asked me for real, and if I had been honest for real, what I wanted to be, I would have been like, I want to be a fucking stand-up comedian. They're the best things in the world. The best people on the goddamn planet. So finally, it took listening to all these podcasts, all these comedians, like the fucking Joe Rogan Experience and Duncan Trussell Family Hour and You Made It Weird and the Crab Feast and everything else, all the other fucking shows I listen to all the time. It took listening to those and listening to those guys tell their stories of how they got into it for me to be like, I have to at least try it. I've always wanted to do it. I've got to at least try it. And I signed up like 4 days beforehand. And I was like, these next 4 days are going to be exciting. But then the day it comes, you know, you're going to be nervous as fuck. And that's exactly what happened. I was so excited for those days coming up. I was like, you're finally going to do it. I would get so goddamn pumped up and dance around my room and make up songs about it and shit. And I put all my stuff together, you know, my 5 minutes. I knew I'd only have 5 minutes. Thank God I didn't want any more than that. But just 5 minute open mic at Pi where I was going to tell a story from elementary school. It seemed like 3 stories that tied together about embarrassing myself with the girl that I liked. And see, that's my whole childhood, being a withdrawn, awkward, embarrassed kid. I still feel embarrassed about stuff that happened in 1995. It's ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous. But anyway, oh man, I lost my goddamn train of thought. Woo woo! Where's my train of thought? Oh man, this is embarrassing. I'm going to pause this. I was talking about doing stand-up, was I not? I think I was. So let's go back to that. So basically, you know, I'm so excited for those days leading up to it, and just sitting there at night, laying in my bed with that feeling of fucking like giddiness, like you felt when you were a kid, and there's just a few days left before summer, and you like it hits you for real, and you're like, fuck yes, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And I was so goddamn pumped to go up there and do it, and I put my 5 minutes together about the embarrassing story from elementary school, and for those days I was so goddamn excited. And then the night before I go to bed, I can barely fucking sleep. I'm so pumped up. And then I wake up in the morning with the worst fucking dread of my entire life. And I was like, no, what have I done? What have I done? God damn it. It was like the anxiety I used to get before doing presentations in school and even in fucking college. In college, I was like, fuck it, I'll take the bad grades and I'll just blow through. I took a lot of bad grades in college. But I got so nervous that day. And I spent all day sitting downstairs, just basically smoking and playing video games and wiping my sweaty palms dry and just fucking being nervous as shit all day with my stomach in knots. I could barely eat. It was like that awful feeling that I would get before school presentations, but times 20. And it's insane that your body reacts that way. We need to evolve some way to react to fear that is not physical, that's not based in the physical world. We need to figure out a way to feel that without our bodies reacting as if a tiger's about to attack us. Because I felt all day like I was about to get ripped apart by howler monkeys or something. I thought, there's fucking danger everywhere. Oh, I'm going to have to go into a pizza place tonight and tell a story in front of strangers. As if they're going to fucking tear me to pieces if I don't do well. And I didn't do well. It's fucking hard as shit to do stand-up. I thought I was going to do well. I was so pumped up the days before practicing in the shower and stuff, doing my 5 minutes, and I had the story down. But in the back of my mind, I was like, as soon as you get up there, you know you're going to fucking flip out. But I know it takes a long time to get to the place where you can do it without being nervous as shit. And that's why you're really bad when you start out, and you got to keep doing it. I just don't know if I have the persistence in that, because I have the persistence in writing, finish up books. I got so many stories in my head that I want to do. And I've got some jokes, but it's not, I don't know, after I did it that one time, I was expecting there to be this feeling when I got off stage that was like, yes, you did it, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I didn't feel that. And I don't know if I felt disappointed by that, or if I was relieved by that. I think I was a little bit relieved by that. I was like, oh, good. You never have to do it again if you don't want to. It's not like a fucking never-ending nagging thing in your soul anymore that you have to try it at least once. Now I can die at least knowing I fucking did it once. I don't remember a goddamn second of it. because I went by so fast. I had it recorded and I did 4.5 minutes, so good enough, I guess. 4.5 out of 5. But I blew through that story. I didn't wait for anybody to laugh. I didn't wait for anything. I didn't even look at the fucking audience. I just like looked at the ground most of the time and just blew through my story and just did as fast as I could. I was like, I just wanted to be done. And I had to go last. I know it was because it was my first time and all these other guys had done it before and earned the right to go before me. But there's probably like 15 people that I had to sit through and just kept waiting for my name to be called because I didn't know when I was going up. And that's like in school too. You go like, God damn it. If you're volunteering for which order you're gonna go in, some days I would just be like, I'm gonna go first and fucking get this over with. I think you get, a little leeway with the teacher too, but more often than not, what I did was, I can't believe I just lost my train of thought there too. Really, I got distracted by the poster on my wall. I remember now. God, I'm so stupid. More often than not, I would. I'm really disappointed in myself. More often than not, I would just sit there at my desk and be quiet and not raise my hand and try to go dead last so I could just put it off as long as possible. If I ever have to go to prison and they put me on death row, I'm going to be one of those people that does every goddamn. I guess they all probably do as many appeals as they can, but I will be. Can I go last this week and you guys kill me last this week? It's fucking. I don't know. So doing stand up, thank God, it fulfilled something in me, but it didn't make me feel like I had to keep doing it, and that was actually a relief, because that's the thing that I really wanted to do, just once at least, and I want to do it again, but I had to do it at least once. So I was a way to like try to force myself out of this withdrawn way that I've always been. Trying to get myself into a place where I can try to experience more things and not be so goddamn anxious about stuff for no fucking reason. It's ridiculous. I get so anxious about things and I'll be like, what are you fucking clenching your teeth for, you idiot? Just relax and stop being so worried all the time. But I'm worried all the time about stuff. I have been since I was a kid, but I think it's worse now as I get older and I'm like, you need to, and it's not even the stuff most people get worried about. Like my parents at my age would have been like worried about getting a retirement fund going and college fund for the kids and everything. I'm like, you need to start a band so you can play. You need, like, now that you've done stand up, you got to play a show at least once. Fucking start a band. You got to finish writing your second book, get the first one published. You got to do all this other fucking stuff. You got to meet new people. It's all these pressures I'm feeling to like just get more out there and experience more people, more things, and push myself the fuck out of this stupid withdrawn funk I've been in my entire life. So that would be pretty goddamn cool to be able to pull that off. Every time I say a P word, it pops. I'm not going to keep doing it. I know that's stupid. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can do. I'll have to come up with other stuff too, I guess, to keep trying to push myself forward as a person and as a human, as a growing being, not a bean, not like a beanstalk, a growing being. So I don't know. I'm terrified of dying and being disappointed with what I've experienced. And I've had a good fucking life, but I worry about that all the time. And I don't even know, I can't even like put into words exactly what I feel like I'm missing. But it's just novelty that I'm missing. If we're putting it in the words of Duncan Trussell and Terrence McKenna and the like, I'm missing novelty. I guess working in an office for all these years will do that to you. And the feeling that shit is really blossoming. That's what I want my life to feel like. Like it's always blooming, always growing, branching out into new areas. I don't want to die and feel like I just sat in one city, in one place, scared to take any goddamn chances. So that's why I've done stuff like, doing stand-up, like I said that one time, and I want to start a band. Like I had one in high school. We had 3 songs and 2 were really good and one was pretty bad. But we never played a show. We just lost interest. God damn it. I need to find, like, this is not a knock on my friends because they are interested in other stuff, but I need to find people that are as obsessed with the idea of like making music and making funny videos and making stuff, making movies. I want to make a goddamn movie out of my book. That would be the best thing ever. Raise money on Kickstarter. I don't even know how much, but make this low budget indie movie about, like Primer was, about my book. I just want to do it all myself. I don't want to wait for anybody to give me money for anything other than the people, I guess, through Kickstarter. But I don't want to wait to be chosen by anybody to do stuff. I just want to fucking do it. So I just want to get a move on. So I think I'm going to wrap this up all together. This will be almost a half hour, and I think that'll have to be good enough this time. I think I'll send you away with the song, and I guess hope that no one will hear this that would ever get me in trouble for playing a Nirvana song. But, I'm going to do it. Here we go, here we go. Love you all. Thanks for listening to episode 2 of Welcome to the Multiverse. We're going to end with my favorite Nirvana song. I hope that the record player works properly. Let me try again. I'll have to edit.
Mom and Dad went to a show. They dropped me off at Grandpa Joe's. I kicked and screamed, said please no. Grandma take me home, 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 Grandma take me home. I had to hit my dinner there, mashed potatoes and stuff and that. I couldn't chew my meat too good. Grandma take me home, 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 Grandma take me home. Said my daughter, stop crying, go outside and ride your bike. That's what I did, I killed my dog. Grandma take me home, 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 Grandma take me home. After dinner I had ice cream. I fell asleep and watched TV. I woke up in my mother's arms. Grandma take me home, 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 wanna be alone.
You know what's weird as shit? I think Kurt Cobain, what is he, 27? 27 when he killed himself. Or when Courtney Love shot him. Or the professional wrestler, or whoever they say did it. But anyway, when Kurt Cobain killed himself, I think he was 27 years old. That's how old I am. I mean, what the fuck? He That's nuts. You shouldn't kill yourself at 27. That's so goddamn young. You have so much money. Like, just quit and go do whatever the fuck you want. You could do whatever you want, Kurt Cobain. Oh, well, I forgot he had all the fucking pain from his stomach ailment. That's why he was a heroin addict, because he's always in terrible pain with the stomach. See, you gotta get to know people before you judge them. You can't just assume Kurt Cobain's a bad guy because he did heroin. He had Crohn's or something, I guess. But anyway, as long as I make it to 28, I beat Kurt Cobain in life. Good night.